AFTV 2-0 to Arsenal. Easy, as I said, in the end, it appeared, but they did give us a lot of problems in that first half.
Yeah, look, I think it was a tough draw. I think when we got it, we thought there were probably easier ties that we could have got. Getting it at home probably made it a little bit easier. But what we've always known and what we've all kind of assumed from early in the season, once the window shut, was that we had a very strong squad. And what we saw today was, was members of our squad come in that hadn't played many minutes. Took a little bit of time to kind of get their foot in, but once they did get their foot in, they looked like the side that we saw on Sunday. What you are seeing is you're seeing a side with a really, really, really clear set of principles in and out of possession. Everyone knows what they're doing. We're seeing it in the Premier League where players drop out and players come in, and it's seamless. And we kind of saw that today. And then what you also get is sprinkles of excitement when you got players like Max Dowman. And young Andre playing up front, who can kind of come in and don't really look out of place. Obviously, there's still levels to it in terms of the intensity, but it's positive. It's really, really, really positive. When I was driving down here because I work in Cambridge, and I was driving down earlier, and they were talking on one of the radio stations about Wolves and the fact that Wolves haven't got any homegrown players in their squad. And it kind of made me reflect on the journey that this side have gone on. So if you think back to when
we never used to have any.
No, that's what I'm saying. When Wenger fielded the first side, I think it was in the Premier League, without an English player, and we were absolutely chastised for it. And then you look at the starting lineup today, and you've got 4 young English teenagers. Declan Rice on the bench, Eze starting, Ben White starting, and you go, and it's really, really, really positive in terms of like the journey that this club has taken. Wenger deserves a lot of credit, Arteta deserves a lot of credit, Mertesacker deserves a lot of credit, Jack Wilshere deserves a lot of credit, Adam Birch, everyone in the academy setup deserves a hell of a lot of credit for what they've done in terms of fielding almost like a production line of these talents.
And these players in the Arsenal Academy are getting a chance. Because we hear about lots of other clubs around, the UK who've got great academies, but you never see any of their players, making it into the first team. But like you just said, Mars Lewis Skelly, Max Dowman, Ethan Wanyeri, all out of the academy.
Yeah, look, and we've also seen 2 players leave in the last 12 months, apparently because they didn't see they didn't see a future. They didn't see they didn't see a pathway. There's quite clearly a pathway here if you're prepared to come and do the work. You take Andre, for example. How many games did he sit on the bench last season and maybe not get a look in? I think back to when we played. I think it was Lens at home, and we were 5-0 up, and we were looking at Ethan and Miles on the bench, going, "Why aren't they getting minutes? Why aren't they getting on?" And there's obviously a reason for it. It's we have to understand that it is a journey. We have to be really, really, really careful with these players. But like I said, every time Dowman gets the ball today, there's excitement. Everyone's up on their feet. He beats a few players. I need to go back and look at it. I thought he won a penalty today. I thought the ref had given a penalty actually. And if I'm going to be super, super, super bold, I want to see him on the plane next season when England go away. He's exciting. He's exciting. And those are the sorts of players that you want. Those kind of players that get people off their seat. And he's exciting. He makes things happen. The players trust him. The manager trusts him. He hasn't featured for a little while. He's kind of, and we've still got big players to come up. Odegaard's not in the squad. Madueke's not in the squad. Havertz, Jesus, all these players are not in the squad. But as we start to get into that November-December period when we know it's going to be tough, again, you can start to kind of sprinkle him in, bring him in, give him a few minutes on the bench, and give him a look in. But it's positive that, like I said, we fought for a little while. We've built a squad, and what we saw today was that squad kind of come in and do a very, very, very professional job with a very, very, very good Brighton side. That at the weekend, we're probably a little bit unlucky to not get something out of the game against United. I think anyone watching that thought the game, if it was going to swing in one direction, was going to swing towards the draw. United managed to go at the other end and score. But that Brighton side are a good side. They look to play. They've got good players. Very good player. They've got a really good manager. But what we saw today was a team that are all buying into what the manager's trying to do. And I know obviously there's a lot of pressure on him in terms of what it's going to look like in terms of trophies at the end of the season. This is absolutely a winnable trophy. We got to the semi-finals last season without the squad that we've got this season, and obviously we'll find out who we've got in the draw when the draw's done. But to me, that was super positive. You go into the Burnley game, Gyökeres has had a rest. He's played a lot of minutes recently. I thought it was good to see Eze on today. I spoke on after the Palace game and said I wasn't quite sure if he was a number 10 in this system. I thought he looked more positive today. I thought he was able to get on the ball, and he did what I was talking about in the Palace game, after the Palace game, which was kind of, he's able to get on the ball, make something happen, play the ball into someone centrally, pick the ball up, and then drive in and kind of get involved from a wide starting position, as opposed to trying to do it from that number 10 position. Good to see Waneri get a goal today. Again, not necessarily had the minutes that maybe he would have wanted. He's got away with England at under 21 level, done very well. Come back. It's been difficult to try and get him in. Like I said, what you're looking at all over the pitch is, Kepa comes in, does a job. Ben White comes in, does a job. Mosquera does a job. Henk does a job. Lewis Kelly does a job. You go through the whole 11. Everyone today came in and did a job. And you're looking at the bench going, yeah, actually, you can give Gyökeres a night off. You can give Saliba a night off. Timber probably could have had a night off, but you appreciate that Ben White's had a lot of injury problems. But we've got a big squad and we've got a quality squad, and I think it's a squad that's really, really, really going to do well. Not just season, but over the next couple of seasons, it can really, really, really take us forward. And I think the gap between us and some of the other sides around us, I'd be worried if I was them.